Hey everybody, how you doing out there? It's June, which means we're going to have our third installment of the community wine event with One Hope Wines. Our great friend Stephanie is joining us. How you doing, Stephanie?
Doing great. Happy to be here. How are you, Zach?
Doing good, doing good. I'm so excited about this month because we took a personal step in my family and we've become caregivers. And one of the people that we've chosen this month helps caregivers. So that was something that really fits right in with what we do. And then, of course, the other individual that we've got here is just a dear friend of mine. I mean, I think that you're gonna love him. We are going to be showing a couple interviews that were previously recorded. And then we're going to be playing this video a few times throughout the month. Just remember that the QR codes are going to be making their appearances all over the place. Make sure that you use them. The one behind me right now is the QR code for our virtual event on Facebook. Stephanie, why don't you tell people what you do on the Facebook page?
Yeah, perfect. So the virtual event page, which you can actually see the QR code to it right behind Zach right now, that is our virtual event page where we'll be sharing all month long about these two incredible organizations that you're about to hear from. In addition, you'll see some highlights on different wines, different seasonal recipes, fun pairings, some fun drink recipes for the season. So it's just a place where you can shop to support, you can share it around and get some fun ideas for the season too.
And we encourage you, please share your recipes. Let's make this fun. Let's make this page a good time. And let's make sure that we support a lot of people while we're doing it. We do need to let you know that this is an attempt to help our friends in the nonprofit world. Yes, we are talking about wine, but we're asking you to please drink responsibly. If you have an issue, right here is a free number that you can call and they can help talk you down. If you need a different number, if you call us at 970-909-0751, 970-909-0751, we can help you find a specialized number. But this is all about us trying to help our friends in the nonprofit world. We all know that having a wine or two is a wonderful thing, nice way to take and relax and have some fun, but let's make sure that we don't overdo it here. We're joined by two, as we mentioned, wonderful groups. We're being joined by the Lucas Project and Veterans Honoring Veterans. Stephanie, you brought in the Lucas Project. Why don't you give us just a real quick rundown on what they do, and then we will be playing the interview with Jess right after that.
Yeah, sure. So I met Jess a little over a year ago now, and probably people watching this don't know this about me, but we are a special needs family as well. So her and I connected really well, and I just love how she provides support for special needs caregivers. I don't think people realize that the simplest thing of like having a hot cup of coffee,
Yeah.
for a special needs parent is something that, is huge. Taking a drive quiet alone for a few minutes, huge. Your mind is kind of always racing to the next thing when you're in a caregiver situation. And I just love how they provide support and raise awareness for what you don't really get to see behind closed doors. So I can't wait to see the interview with Jess.
And I think that this is a great interview just because, Jess really does, you can tell how much of her heart she puts into this. So, this was a great interview to do. This one was really special to me because we didn't, she's not part of our program yet. And so this was a chance for us to get to meet somebody new, which is what this really all started out to do, was to start meeting some of these new wonderful programs out there. And so this was one of the special ones. But
she's a mom. She's a caregiver. She's in our shoes doing
yeah,
the do right along with us. She has several children and she has an autistic
8
child that's a teenager
children,
as well. Yeah.
8 children. She
Yeah.
said that, and I was like, what? No, yeah,
And
we're
look
not
at all
talking
the
about
good
the
she's doing.
neighborhood, are we? So,
Yeah, look at all the good she's doing, all those kids, and she's still making a difference for other families also.
Well, I think that we've done enough announcing it, and I think now what we need to do is go on ahead and we're going to play this interview. Once again, this is an interview with Jess from the Lucas Project, and I hope that you enjoy this. Stephanie and I will be back to talk a little bit, and then we'll be introducing you to Bart next. So, but here is Jess with the Lucas Project. Hey, everybody. My name is Zach Clayton with Community Pay It Forward, and we are starting our May wine. Our June wine. Geez, May. I'm behind a month, as you can tell, Jess. It's months just kind of run right into each other, and especially when you're doing this and you're having as much fun as we are. But we're being joined by Jess Ronnie from the Lucas Project. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Well, you're very, very welcome, and let's hope that we can do you guys some good. Can you give us an idea on what the Lucas Foundation is all about, please?
Yeah, I started it in 2017 after my husband landed in ER numerous times with panic attacks that resembled heart attacks. We lived in rural Tennessee. We had 8 children, and we had a son with profound disabilities, including level 3 autism. And as he started to go through puberty, aggressions and behaviors just intensified, and we couldn't find any help. And when he was born, I promised him that I would one day start a nonprofit in his honor. And I always thought that that nonprofit would be related to helping the children. And as we were floundering so badly, I realized that the children are only as healthy as the caregivers. And we needed something that was going to provide support and recognition for these parent caregivers who are often not in a very good space. And so I Googled how to start a nonprofit, downloaded all the paperwork, filled it all out, sent it in, very firstborn, black and white. And a couple months later, I had a nonprofit. We were very much focused on recognition and respite from the very beginning. The recognition part we felt was very important for society to start to understand a lot of our struggles, the isolation, anxiety, exhaustion. And then the respite was the solution to those struggles. The respite part was easy. We launched our first respite chapter in a local school district. We offered 5 hours a month free of charge to these families for their child with disabilities and also the siblings, so that the mom and dad could just take a complete break, do whatever they wanted to do. The recognition part was a little bit trickier. Our family kind of has an interesting backstory, and we had been approached twice by a couple of production companies about doing a reality show. That didn't really set well with me. One, I'm kind of a private person, and 2, the moms aren't usually portrayed very well in those reality shows.
Yeah.
But it did get the wheels turning, and I thought, well, maybe we're onto something. Maybe we could create a documentary and partner with a filmmaker and create something that would shed light on what families like ours go through. 2018, I just threw out my grand idea on Facebook. I said, I have this big dream, and wondered if any filmmaker out there would, take the bait. About a week later, a filmmaker reached out to me and said, why don't we get together for lunch and let's talk? 4 years later, we just launched Unseen, How We're Failing Parent Caregivers and Why It Matters. It's already getting huge recognition in big corporations who are showing it to all of their executives and their staff, and trying to be more accommodating and inclusive for parent caregivers, and just understanding that it's often difficult to work a typical 9 to 5 when you're also caring for a child like my Luke, who's 17. He needs help in every aspect of his life. He's incontinent, and to find a caregiver for a child like that, I mean, it's non-existent. You cannot find people to help with these kids. So therefore, usually, mom or dad quits work and they stay home to care for their child till the day he or they die. And we're just trying to change that narrative a little bit, and also bring that narrative to the forefront so that we can start to have these conversations about how we can better accommodate and serve parent caregivers.
What is the biggest problem And I don't mean problem really, because you know what, being a caregiver is something that we're finding out has plenty of joys to it. But what is
Mhm.
one of the bigger things that when somebody comes to you, they say, "Oh my God, can you just help me relieve this?" What's the biggest thing that people ask you for assistance doing in that aspect?
I think initially it's respite. They just need a break,
Yeah.
and nobody wants to give them a break because, they have that scary kid who people are a little intimidated by. They're not real sure how to step into that space and help. And I'll often say, it's not even you have to step into that space and offer respite, like just offer a meal. Say to this family, lasagna or tacos, because when you're a special needs family, your to-do list never ever ends. For example, last week I posted my to-do list on Facebook. I had 21 things. 11 of those things had to do with Lucas, and the other, 11, 10 had to do with my personal life and my other children. When you have a child with disabilities, the therapy appointments, the mounds of paperwork, like everything related to raising a child like that is so much more intensified than a typical child. Um, and then I would say, as these kids reach 18, as a society, we need more long-term assisted living facilities, fewer waiting lists, because as these parents age, we can't continue to do this. We need some options. And where I live now, there are no options. We will have to create something if we want that for him. And I hear that resounding story from families. There's nothing. There aren't any day programs. There are no long-term assisted living options. And that's a shame, because to have these parent caregivers at 60, 70, 80 years old still caring for their child, that's not the best scenario for anybody.
My parents just recently retired as caregivers for adults with disabilities, and my mom is at 68 years old, and she was just basically, she was forced to retire. It was not her choice, because you know the way it is that even though it was not her own children, it was still somebody that she has grown to love. She had one client with her for over 27 years. And we understand exactly what you're talking about, how, there's really nothing. It's hard to trust somebody with something like that. What would be like, in your dream scenario, what would be something that somebody could do to help a caregiver outside of what you guys offer? What would be something that would be, I mean, you would just look at it and go, "Oh, thank God, finally."
It can be something so small, I think. What I say to families who want to help, or individuals who want to help all the time, is think about your gifts. We've had people bring us meals. We've had people show up and give our kids haircuts in the comfort of our home, because when you have a child with autism, that's kind of a big deal. We've had people offer to show up and weed our flower beds. It doesn't necessarily have to be like taking care of that child. Just something that says to this family, I see you. I understand that your life is probably much more difficult than a typical person's life, because of all of the things that you have going on. And I just want to enter into your space and help you in some way. But I'll also say, as caregivers, we're really hard at accepting help. So I think be very specific, like lasagna or tacos. I'm bringing it Wednesday. Pick one. you know,
Yeah.
Weed your flower beds or mow your lawn. Which one? Pick it. Because most of the time we'll just be like, we're fine, but we're not. We're not. We are absolutely exhausted.
It's we hear I've got a really good friend who is in the veteran community, who you often hear people say that, if you're going to, if when you approach a veteran, you can ask him what's wrong, but he always warns you about, if you're going to ask what's wrong, you better get ready for the answer, because the answer's not pretty. And if you're going to be sitting there doing this while you're listening to him, that's just going to, that's going to show him more than than ignoring them, you know, because so I do understand exactly what you're talking about. What is one example of what you can do to help somebody? What's one example of what the Lucas Project does to help somebody?
Well, we have a nomination form on our website, and you can nominate a caregiver to receive a care package. It's just a box full of a bunch of goodies. We like to kind of call it respite in a box. Lots of spot items, gift cards, books, just, something that says we see the hard and holy work that you do day in and day out. We acknowledge what you're doing. Well done, keep going. And that's really simple. We just ask for a minimum $5 donation just to help cover shipping for those boxes. And anybody can nominate a caregiver that they're aware of, right in their neighborhood or in their church or school or wherever. And we will send a box out to them.
What about if there's a company out there that say, and we use this for the Avery Center as well. What if we have somebody who has like fuzzy socks that they want to put in there because you know how comfortable a nice new pair of fuzzy socks can be? How can they, what other than that, what else can they do to help you that has less to do with money and more to do with caring?
We'll take it. If there's a company out there, if Starbucks wants to donate a bunch of gift cards, we do have companies, we have individuals who ship us huge quantities of things to put in those care packages. So we'll take whatever. If you have something that fits within those parameters of kind of self-care and indulgence and just, take a little break for yourself, we're all about it. So send it our way.
So, just this is a suggestion out there, maybe if you guys could go and out here, if you're listening to this, maybe picking up an extra set of movie passes or something like that, because that's something that could really help people out. We say it often and we really mean it. Money runs the world. We know money runs the world, but there's so much other things out there that can really help. So, this is one of those perfect opportunities that you can take and purchase something that's going to mean even more than money. This is one of those projects that you're dealing with somebody's inner health, and so yeah, money's nice, but it's not as important as breathing, relaxing. Do you guys help maybe teach a little bit of yoga or anything like meditation? I guess not yoga. I don't know. Maybe you could teach yoga, but do you guys have like classes for meditation or anything like that to really kind of help? Because I know the breathing aspect is something that can really help lower pressure.
Mhm. I do. I take yoga, well, a YouTube class every day, and also breathing. But again, it goes back to that respite component. I can't leave the house,
Yeah.
my son, because nobody will watch him. So even the movie tickets, that sounds great. But then to find a caregiver who will stay with their child, that's an extra layer that most people don't even have to think about. So I think that it sounds nice, but as a parent caregiver, it's really difficult to find that care where we can even go to a yoga class or go to the movies, because there are so few options out there.
Support systems. How can people get a hold of you to maybe get an idea on how else to maybe is there anyone for them to call and say, what, I would like to give Jess a night out. I would like to be able to try to watch her son, but I would need to know how to do it. Is there training out there for such a thing?
Not that I'm aware of. And honestly, my husband and I talk about this a lot, and I'll just use the church as the model that we've talked about. You have these small groups in churches all over the country. I think if the small group model could start to adopt a special needs family within the community, build that repertoire, build that trust with the family, get to know their child. Maybe they're bringing them a meal once a week. And as they're building that trust, then a month or 2 or 3 down the road, they can say to that family, hey, we feel comfortable as a small group. We'd like to watch your child for a few hours so you and your husband can have a date or take a nap or whatever that looks like. but we do need to build those connections of trust first. I think in churches that works really well, or even different community options. I'm not entirely sure what that would look like, but I do know churches have that small group model already in place. And if they could make it almost a service model where that small group gets together and serves this one particular family, I think that could work really well.
This is just kind of remembering back to my childhood, and I'm getting quite older, so it's harder for me to remember back to my childhood.
We're all getting older.
Yeah. So, but there was stuff like uh, church camps and like a nightly church camp. I remember, and for some reason I can't remember what I had for dinner last night, but I remember every Wednesday night we would go to, I think it was, I can't remember what it's called, but we would go to a church, and yeah, there was a little bit of a church aspect to it, but there was a lot of like activities and arts and stuff like that. Would that be something that if maybe somebody could work on, would that for children with needs, would that be something that would interest a lot of parents?
If it were long enough, I would say it often, especially with autism, to break the routine, because they're very routine oriented typically. To get Luke to break his routine to go to something like that, that's only an hour or two, it's almost more work than it's worth. But if we're talking a good 4 or 5 hour chunk of time to actually give the parents some breathing room, then I think it's a really good option. I've also said, vacation Bible schools, they offer these programs for younger kids. It would be amazing if churches would start to offer these programs for older kids and adults as well. Just as a breather again for the parents, 3, 4, 5 hours would be huge, just for mental health, and again, to be able to go to that yoga class or that movie that we want to see.
Okay, let's get back to your documentary real quick. And how do people find your documentary?
Caregiverdoc.com.
Caregiverdoc.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and how do people get a hold of you to nominate a family?
The lucasproject.org. We have everything that we have going on our website.
Okay, and then can you tell us, obviously money aside, what are some of the other things for your care packages that maybe people could donate to you for these care packages?
We have an Amazon wish list that I've linked up in a lot of our social media feeds at the Lucas Project. Spa items, we've had jewelry, homemade earrings, teas, coffee cups, books related to caregiving, just about anything, washcloths, towels, anything that kind of brings a sense of calm and peace. We're happy to consider.
Well, Jess, I would like to congratulate you on starting something wonderful. We love to tell people that usually nonprofits begin from somewhere that it's got a little bit of a pain point. Obviously, yours started from a place of love, but there's still that pain point there. I would personally like to congratulate you on everything that you're doing and the work that you're doing, and I wish you the greatest of success. This month, throughout the month of June, you can support the Lucas Project, and you can support everything that they're doing by scanning the QR codes that are above, and they're going to be on our Facebook page as always. And if you have any more questions, you can always go to the Facebook project, or you can go to, it's the official Lucas Project on Facebook, correct?
Yep, the official Lucas Project, but our website is just thelucasproject.org.
Okay, so, but you can go to there and ask any questions of Jess, or you can ask us, and then when we bring them back in about the middle of the month, we can ask those questions then. Jess, how one more time, how do they get a hold of you?
Email, is that what you're after?
However you want people to get a hold of you.
Well, my website, my personal website is justplusthemess.com. That's where I post all my articles and my email address and everything. My work email is jess@thelucasproject.org.
Okay, so Jess at thelucasproject.org?
.org. Yep.
Okay. All right. So once again, we're being joined by Jess Ronnie. I want to thank you one more time for joining us, and we wish you the best of luck this month. Please make sure that you support everything that the Lucas Project is doing. Go to thelucasproject.org and you can find out more. And if you have any questions, reach out. This is the time. We're bringing you all these new organizations so you can learn about some of the great things that are out there. We all probably have run into one of those caregivers who is sitting there and they look a little bit frazzled and you know, maybe they're a little short-tempered. Well, now maybe you can understand why. It's not all fun and games all the time. So, but Jess, I look forward to talking to you in about 2.5 weeks, and when we're at about halfway point. So, but thank you so very much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate it.
No problem. All right. This has been our interview with the Lucas Project's Jess Ronnie, and we'll be right back. That was, you know, again, that was just amazing that she's got 8 kids and that she's able to do everything that she's able to do. You and I were kind of going a little bit back and forth and talking in our chat, and you know, you understand what she's going through because you also have a child with needs. And again, Adrienne and I are kind of stepping into that world as foster parents, and I've been around the world for 27 some odd years with my parents taking care of individuals with needs. So it's something that it's truly a wonderful program that she does, that she created. What are some of the things that you would add to what she said to try to help people?
Like she mentioned, I think she shed light on that extra step that caregivers actually have to take. It's really hard to leave the house. It's really hard for that date night or that movie night or, you know, that meal out. And you know, while I don't have personally the same situation with routine as she does, you know, there is still difficulty there. So I think that no matter what kind of caregiver role you're in, you can relate to a lot of the things that she was saying. Just incredible. The work that she did.
Wondering that. Sorry about that.
Oh no, that's okay. I thought you were starting to say something to me.
No, I was actually trying to get. I'm trying to get our other video up and ready, and all of a sudden, I just started talking again because you know I never shut up. So. Yeah, there are so many different. You know, not every case is the same. Obviously, you know.
I think what stood out the most is for people to say, like, "I see you. I want to help." You know, but which meal would you like? Let me cook for your family one night. Or, you know, what do you need done? Would you rather the grass be done or your weeds done in your flower bed? You know, things like that you wouldn't typically think about could mean a huge deal to some families. So, and hey, Starbucks gift card, shout out to Starbucks. Hey, you know, if anybody with Starbucks watches this, you guys should totally send some gift cards because us moms need our coffee.
Well, now I've just got to ask the question, what wine would you suggest for lasagna tacos?
Tacos, if it's like beef tacos, I would go with a red wine. Lasagna typically has meat in it too. I'd probably go with red, and I'm going to be talking about some red wine today too. So I'll share on that in just a moment. Do you want to go over to Veterans Honoring Veterans though before we get into that?
We will most certainly do that. This one, once again, we want to thank Jess Ronnie for joining us. of the Lucas Project. Once again, the Lucas Project. You can see the link right below us, and you go to the virtual event page by scanning the QR code behind me, and it's always right there. So just make sure that you do this. This next guest is so important to me. I met Bart after the untimely passing of his wife, and he he donated all of her clothing to us because he knew that we were going to give these clothing to people in the community who needed help. And he was just that guy that he didn't want somebody to, he didn't want it to go to waste, and it was hard for him to give it away. But that's how I met this gentleman, and ever since then, I talk to this guy at least once a week. We're going to go and have breakfast with him tomorrow morning and watch him honor some vets in Loveland. So if anybody is in the Loveland area, we invite you to join us at the Golden Corral just outside of Loveland on Highway 34. So, but this is Bart Bartholomew with Veterans Honoring Veterans. I knew what I was trying to say. I just didn't know what I was trying to say. So, but, once again, please make sure that you check out the Lucas Project, and, let's get to buying some wines. Let's support what they've got going on. Or right here, this is another great cause with Veterans Honoring Veterans. So here's Bart. Maybe. There we go. Hey everybody, I'm back. Zach Clayton, Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care. And I am with one of my very, very favorite people in the world, Mr. Bart Bartholomew from Veterans Honoring Veterans. Hello, my friend.
Hi, Zach. Thanks for having me on, brother.
Hey, you know what? I would have you on every week just because I enjoyed talking to you. You and I, we met over a year ago, and every time we get a chance to talk, it's just something that brightens my day. I know that we got to share in a wonderful experience this last weekend over Memorial Day, and that was really pleasurable. Now getting to do this and getting to raise some money for Veterans Honoring Veterans, it's one of my favorite parts of my job. So
good.
Bart, for people who have never been able to meet you before, can you please tell us exactly what Veterans Honoring Veterans does?
You bet. Be glad to, Zach. Thank you. Everybody, what this is just my appreciation and our board for our veterans in our community for what they have given to our country, to our state, to our town. 2018, I was at a ship's reunion, and during the Saturday night banquet, one of our sailors that was on the ship with me got up to the podium, and he called the name of another sailor to come up the podium, and he gave him a nice little statue. I'm going to step away for just a second. I'll keep talking if you can hear me. I'm going to get a statue, kind of show you what we're talking about. Anyway, this is one of 5 statues that we present to our veterans. This one happens to be a Marine Corps statue, and they're just get it focused here, and they're just a little about a 12-14-inch resin statue made here in Loveland, Colorado by a veteran. So it's a U.S. Colorado veteran-made statue, and we have one for the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and then we also have a small one for the ladies, and it's kind of in a khaki kind of a uniform, and the lady is saluting. And if they like that, they can have one of those. If they want the eagle with the talons on the flag, they get that. But anyway, when he showed me that presentation, I asked him after the banquet what it was all about, and if he had a franchise or something like that. And he said, nope. He said, just something I do back home for my veterans. So I came back to Colorado and met with several people in the veteran community and started up a nonprofit called Veterans Honoring Veterans Incorporated. And we kicked off in August of 2018. And since that date, the last count I had was like 460 statues that have been presented to veterans locally. And just to step a little farther, every statue that we present at our breakfast club at the Golden Corral in Loveland, that statue is presented to that veteran at absolutely no cost. Therefore, saying no cost, we do things like what Zach's doing with Community Pay It Forward. We ask for donations from our community and out wherever you are, and give us a little support so we can keep doing this. But we also will and have offered to sell a statue if there's someone outside of our community that can't come to breakfast. If you have a relative that's in the service or was in the service, you can contact us. We will hook you up directly with the statue maker, and they can take your request, and you can send one or give one to your family member. So and we don't charge extra. We charge you the same price that we are paying for them. So just know that you just have to pay for postage if something was shipped. But here again, they're a $60 statue. So when you figure 60 times 450, there's a couple dollars involved in it.
Yeah.
And we do not want to have this quit, because in our 2 counties in the northern Colorado, we have close to 50,000 veterans that live here. So I'm never going to run out of veterans. I might run out of time for me, but there's always going to be veterans around here. So yeah, Zach's showing you the different statues. Top one's the Army, second one's the Navy. I think the third one was the Marine. No, the third was the Air Force, and then you have the fourth one, the Marine I just showed you, and then that's the Eagle. I don't have a picture of the one in the fatigues with the saluting for the ladies, but it'll be up there at some point. We're just kind of behind. So if you want to do, you can use that QR code that's behind Zach, or you can contact us on veteranshonoringveterans.org, and there's a donate button in there too, and or you can mail a check, and the address on mailing a check, if you want to do it that way, is 1907 South Custer, Custer, just like the General Army. Okay. 1907 South Custer Avenue, Loveland, Colorado 80537, and that'll be all available to you.
And you can always find out all that information by going to communitypayitforward.us, looking in our saluting our heroes, both country and community, and all the information is right there for Bart. Please do remember that Veterans Honoring Veterans is also a mission partner of Community Pay It Forward. So anytime you shop with any of our partners, you can donate to what Bart is doing by simply, all you got to do is shop and say, I want to support Bart. I want to support his team. I want to support our veterans. It's such a great foundation. It's such a great organization. And I implore you, if you're in Northern Colorado, tomorrow, if you're in the Loveland area, please make a trip on up to Golden Corral, just outside of Loveland on Highway 34, for the presentation that happens at about 8:30. Correct, Bart?
Yeah, actually about 9 o'clock, a little after we have
9 o'clock, and it doesn't last very long, but you know what? It's such a wonderful presentation, and you're doing a lot of good, Bart, because what you're doing is you're really showing these men and women that you have, that people, they're not forgotten. And it's something that a lot of times I think is really lost, that some of these individuals have been out of service for quite a while, and just for them to know and to remember that they're not forgotten, I think is very important.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, when a veteran joins the service, for the most part, most of them go a long, long way from home, and a lot of times they stay a long time away from home. And then when they get home and they're done with it, they're forgotten. Nobody remembers what they did. So this is a way for us to pay back to them by giving them a little statue. And on the statue, I'm going to cover up the guy's name right now, but this is kind of a nameplate. I don't care if you see his name; doesn't make a difference. Let me see. I'm not too good at this, Zach.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, we put the logo of the branch of service on one side, and then maybe whoever they was attached to, and all their information about them, when they served, what branch, if they was in a conflict. This particular Marine was a guard at a couple embassies during his tour in the Marine Corps, which is something that we have all over the world, and we've heard stories about our embassies being overtaken and stuff. So that's another a job where they're in harm's way at any given moment. So they're all heroes. That's the point. And they need a pat on the back. And this is something we can do besides the pat on the back and a thank you. We can give them a remembrance of a little statue.
One of the greatest things about Veterans Honoring Veterans, Bart, is simply you don't have to be in conflict era.
Nope.
You celebrate anybody who's
Yep.
wore the uniform, which I think is such a wonderful thing.
We do. We say if anybody raised their right hand, and that right hand means that they signed a blank check, no matter if we was in time of conflict. Military means that you are out there to protect the United States of America, foreign and domestic. So you're everywhere doing the same thing, giving us the rights to sit here and talk to each other on this little TV screen.
Yeah. And just as a reminder, only less than 5% of Americans raise their right hand and make this sacrifice to go and spend time away from their friends, their family, their loved ones. Less than 5% of us. So let's make sure that we're able to help Bart do what he does. Once again, this is our June wine event. We'll be getting back to Stephanie here shortly, and we'll be talking about some recipes and other things. But right now, we're being joined by Bart Bartholomew, the founder of Veterans Honoring Veterans. Bart, you guys did a wonderful thing for me last year, and you on my late uncle, which was something that still to this day, it was such a wonderful thing. You were talking about the nameplate. What makes these really personal, and one of the things that I absolutely love that you do, is that you asked, what was my uncle's favorite ship? And just watching my aunt talk about Uncle Bill's favorite ship, it really meant something to her as an individual also. What gave you this idea to make them as personal as you do?
Well, that's pretty interesting because we started out and all we did was get the name and the branch and that was about it. But as time went on, the more I visited with each veteran, the more it became more and more personal. So as we grew in Veterans Honoring Veterans with our statue program, the nameplates grew. Now, they're very small. They're only about 2 inches wide. So there's not a lot of room, but my engraver that takes care of the nameplates is remarkable. And he does a
fantastic job by him.
He does an awesome job. So as I talk to veterans, I get more and more information. And the thing that I have to have whenever I talk to them, I have to be able to get a link that we can put on the computer or get from the computer, so my engraver can capture that and not have to Photoshop it. When you Photoshop it, I understand it takes an awful lot of time. It really gets kind of expensive because of the time. So we try to make sure it's very easy. And speaking of your late uncle, something I did this weekend that we have never done before. We did a presentation to a family who lost their son in Afghanistan. So at a memorial event in Berthoud, the father got up and spoke a little bit about his son, and his son had left all of his memoirs. Just a young man, but he left all his memoirs, and they put it in a book for him. So that was something that was really touching. But as he got done and sat down, I had the speaker get him and his wife back up there. And when I presented the statue to him, I didn't hear it, but one of the people in the audience heard the mother say, "Boy, this looks just like my son." And she had one of those tearful looks in her eyes, in which we don't want people to cry, but when they cry of happiness and seeing something that can be warm to them. So we're awful proud that we did our first killed in action statue to a family, and it seemed pretty well. We're not going to be able to do a lot of them because I don't know a lot of people. I don't want to get too personal and cause people to remember too much. But anyway, that's kind of like your late uncle. You know, your aunt was looking at it and saw the ship and knew about that, so it gave her fond memories, and that's what we want.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it truly is. It's one of those things that it meant so much to us. It meant so much, and your presentations just truly do mean so much to so many. We've talked about this before, but I still find that the cutest thing that I've ever seen was the little old man from Korea, from the Korean conflict. We gave him one that somebody didn't get you the information in time. He will remain nameless unless you want to call him Zach. Didn't get you the information in time, but so we had to give this gentleman, to start with, we gave him one without his name on it. We gave him the statue, his statue. I believe it was a Navy one, but I can't remember exactly. But we gave him the statue, and this little old man grabbed a hold of that thing, and it was his version of an Oscar. He was so proud of it, and he didn't even know it was coming, you know. And it we almost had to rip it out of his hands to tell him, "Sir, we're going to get you one that's personalized for you." But he grabbed onto that thing like it owed him money. He was not going to let it go, and it was such a touching thing. And I just want to say this to you, Bart. What you're doing is such a wonderful thing, because we know that we're fighting many mental issues with our veterans right now. We know that there's been a lot of forgotten feelings. There's been a lot of hard feelings towards a lot of veterans. And I think that what you're doing is something that really can lift the spirits and really bring a sense of unity back to a lot of people. And there's no way that you can watch one of your presentations without feeling a little bit of pride and a hell of a lot of appreciation for the men and women that you present to. I've got to talk to so many of them just joining you on your breakfasts and coming in and getting to talk to them, that are just, you see that gleam in their eye. The family, you delivered one to a husband, wife, and the dad. You did it all in a 2-week period, and they were all they had their statues right there, and they were all so proud of it. And it just means so much. And I want to thank you so much to you and your team, who are outrageous. Your team is just phenomenal, and I love you all, and I thank you guys.
Well, you are certainly welcome. It's our honor and our pleasure, and it's an awful lot of fun. So I want to continue doing it, because I like you, the face that we see of happiness, and sometimes there's a tear, means all the world to us. And we know I get people continuously seeing me at breakfast and saying thank you, and where they have it displayed, and what a conversation piece when somebody sees it. So that's what it's all about.
Yep. And I know I get to see my father's every time I go over to the house. It's right there, and it's something that I'll never forget that day as long as I live. It's just one of those things that I got to honor my father, and because he wasn't he was in Berlin, the ending part of Vietnam, and because he wasn't in a foreign war area, there's a lot of times that they don't get honored, but you guys take that away, and you make it to where every veteran gets to do what they should do, and they get to be honored because they were part of a solution. You know, as unpopular as wars are a lot of times, they still gave of themselves, and we need to honor them.
Well, and what you're doing to help us get those statues made by supporting us with your community pay it forward and all your partners means an awful lot to us, because here again, we've got the veterans and we just need a little bit of support from the community to help us get a few dollars to keep doing that. And so what you're doing with this promotion with Simone is just awesome to me. And I'm going to share it with as many people as I can. In fact, I told you before we got started, I'm not really a big wine drinker, but every once in a while, if somebody stops by, it's nice to be able to offer a nice glass of a nice wine. So I'm looking forward to getting my order.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, I'd like to say I'm not a big wine drinker either, but you know, you look behind me right now, and there's 3 bottles here, and this isn't even the one that I've got chilling for the presentation when we record the part with Stephanie and myself. So there's still one more that's in the fridge, you know, and so kind of makes me look at it and go, well, I can't really tell people I'm not a big wine drinker when I've got 3 bottles right here. So, but you know, these are all wonderful wines that we get to do this.
Where do they come from?
These are all a Napa Valley wine. Every single one of them. They've actually got winning winemakers from some of the bigger Madavi wines, I believe, is one of them. I mean, some of the bigger vineyards. They're all part of this, but yeah, every single one of them is, you know, they've won awards with them, and
wow.
And I don't know if you've heard this story before, Bart, but not only every time that they buy a bottle they can donate to you, they also donate to a cause called the Hope Wine Foundation, which provides clean water, living assistance, and stuff like that. Hope Wines is really, they're like exactly like what we do, and that's one of the reasons why this is such a perfect pairing, because they do a lot in the community themselves. So I mean, I just think that this is such a perfect pairing with Community Pay It Forward, Hope Wines, and of course veterans honoring veterans.
Well, I am looking forward to it, and here again, I'm reaching out to the people out there at in the TV world, computer world that can click on that QR code and help support the Simone her wine business and get a little towards Veterans Honor Veterans in the month of June.
Yep, and please make sure that you come and join us on Saturday. We're going to be there right around just a little before 9 o'clock. You know, but come out and pick up a flyer, and you'll also be. We're going to be handing out one of our little some of our little flyers that have the QR code for Veterans Honoring Veterans, which is the Community Pay It Forward QR code. So it's a little bit different, but it all means the same thing. It means that our veterans get to be honored. So, Mr. Bart, it's always a pleasure talking to you. You're one of my favorite people in the world. I love talking to you anytime that we get to do it. We don't do it near enough, and we talk at least once a week, which is kind of a neat thing. I love doing it. I consider you one of my very best friends, and this is an honor for me to get to be able to do this for you. So please keep up the great work that you do. Tell all your board that I'm sending my love to you guys, and please out there help us support these 2 great causes we have today. And all we're asking you to do, let's get together, let's have some wine. Let's you know, have a glass for a great cause. So raise a glass for a great cause. So but thank you, Bart, and we'll talk to you. Well, I'll talk to you on Saturday, but then we'll have you back on here in about 2.5 weeks.
All right, Zach. Thanks for what you're doing, brother.
No problem. Okay, everybody, just 1 minute and we'll be back. And when we come back, we're going to be with Stephanie. We're going to learn some recipes and some pairings. So
All right.
have fun.
Thanks, Zach.
Well, like
Oh,
I
Bart, that was great.
he is one of my favorite people in the world. I'm going to tell you right now, he's such an inspiration to me because he cares so much about everything and everybody. And from the second I met him until now, he's just one of those people that really does. He lifts my spirits. So
Constantly helping. That's amazing. And you didn't do so bad yourself, Zach, answering those One Hope questions. I loved it.
yeah, I actually kind of forgot about that, and I'm like going, boy, I really hope I got this right. Maybe I should get it right, but who knows? So,
well, I realized that we might have some new people tuning in, and I'm so rude, you guys. I forgot to completely introduce myself at the beginning.
So I forgot to introduce you. So.
Oh, don't worry. That's okay. I wanted to highlight the causes. They are both incredible. I'm so happy to be here, to be a small part of raising awareness for their causes and donations. And so for those who are just tuning in for the first time, my name is Stephanie Simoes. I am a cause entrepreneur with One Hope Wine. I guess I'm also Simone these days, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we are an award-winning Napa Valley winery that gives back with each bottle of wine. And what I do is I specialize in fundraising, gifting, private wine events, and wine delivery. Loved hearing about these causes. And I am personally going to donate $25 for every $50 we raise collectively as a group for each cause. So there is a specific fundraising link for each nonprofit, as you guys saw when they were speaking on the screen. So just want to mention that again. It's not all one link. There's a link for each of them. But really, really amazing. Wonderful interviews. Thank you so much for sharing those, Zach.
Well, I couldn't have been any happier doing them. Well, like I've said, it's just amazing getting to learn about these great organizations because they do so much, and it's not as I said during Jess, it's not always out of a great situation. That a lot of times these come out of a very, very difficult situation. And they do such great work. So, I love that you and I have gotten together and we're doing this and we're really making a difference for their causes. So
love it. And if and when you get a chance, if you can drop the QR codes on the screen, that would be awesome. But
I'm working on it right as you were speaking.
Perfect. You read my mind. So our fundraising links on our virtual event page, that's the first QR code. That is where our event on Facebook is being highlighted all month long. Info on the Lucas Project is there. Veterans Honoring Veterans is there. We'll be highlighting different wines throughout the month, different recipes and pairings. Encourage you guys to pop on and engage with us, share what your favorites are, but definitely follow us there. The second QR code, and the link is directly underneath as well, is the specific fundraising link for the Lucas Project. And the third is for Veterans Honoring Veterans. Again, that's the specific fundraising link that takes you right to the One Hope fundraiser for that cause. So really great. Join the virtual event page. It's a lot of fun. And we'll be sharing some seasonal items as well there. All right.
Once again, we do ask you, make sure that you share your recipe and your experience with One Hope Wines. Let's make this about all of us, not just about the two of us.
Absolutely.
Let's
I'd love to hear what the favorites are. We have some supporters for our last month's event too. If you want to share what your favorites were, I'd love to hear about that as well. I'm going to jump in, Zach, share a little bit about One Hope, who we are. And let's get into it because I have some wines that I want to highlight and a fun recipe to share at the end too.
All right.
All right. So One Hope is a cause-centered winery out of Napa Valley. What that means is every single bottle of wine gives back to make an impact. Zach, gave a really good overview before. I'm proud of you, Zach. He's heard me do this, just a couple of times. So to date, we've donated over $8.2 million locally and globally, and to over 30,000 different nonprofit organizations. So how we do that is first through the One Hope Foundation, where our main pillars of giving are for clean water, ending hunger, health, and education initiatives. But in addition, we have this incredible platform where we can choose our favorite 501c3 nonprofits of choice. Really, really incredible. And that's what we're doing here, of course. We are a private wine label, so our winemakers do make our wine. Robert Mondavi Jr., Tony Coltrane, and our head winemaker, Mari Wells Coyle, who is absolutely incredible. She's added so many 90+ point rated wines to our portfolio. So our wine is award winning. It's delivered right to your door in 3 to 5 business days. We ship across the US. So no matter where you're tuning in from, you can shop to support, share this around. Others that are passionate about these organizations can support as well, because we ship to 46 states, which is great. So double give back with each bottle through this event. Let's sip and make a big impact for these incredible causes. The wines that I picked today are our Italian Prosecco, our Vintner Collection Rosé, our Argentinian Malbec, and our Vintner Collection Cabernet. I thought this time of year would be good to highlight some of these, so I'm going to jump in. I don't think you're sampling anything right now, Zach, right?
No, I'm not going to be sampling anything today, unfortunately.
That's okay. That's all right. We'll still share. Perfect.
I will sample it later, though.
I can't wait to hear. Can't wait to hear. That's one of my favorites.
Actually, and the one that I'm going to sample, the one that really attracts me, you were just talking about it, was the Malbec. I'm very interested because it's got the black cherry and red raspberry flavorings with. I was going to ask you a question. What is floral inky? Do you happen to
the tasting profile notes on that one?
Okay.
I personally really love that wine. I feel that one kind of the tasting notes on that are set apart from anything else that we have on the website right now. That Malbec is just delicious. It is a wine club exclusive, but I'll get into that in a little bit. There's no cost to join our wine club, and you get all of the benefits and the perks. So I always highlight that as like the best choice and best direction anyway, because then you get access to all of those fun exclusive wines too. Yeah, definitely one of my favorites. I can't wait to hear how you like it, Zach. We're going to start with the Prosecco though. And this one should be served cold. Definitely serve this chilled. It is delicious. It's made from Galera grapes, and it is balanced and fruity. Fresh pear and hints of green apple create pleasing aromas that persist into the finish. A touch of sweetness adds volume and accentuates the fruit while still finishing dry with plentiful bubbles. With this one, I can see adding some fresh fruit right into your glass with the bubbles. Make it bubbly with, strawberries, blueberries, your favorite fruit. Put it right in. Nice and refreshing for the season. It is an off-dry wine. Light in body, and some food pairings for it is a fruit and cheese plate, lemon cake, and seafood chowder. I could see those meals this time of year. What do you think, Zach?
Oh, I can definitely see me gnawing down on a cheese platter. So, I actually try to do that instead of eating all the candy that I used to eat. I do quite a bit of cheese and cracker plates now. Not that that's the most healthy snack in the world either, but it's a lot better than 4 or 5 Snickers in a setting. So.
Well, you can add some healthy options to a charcuterie board too. Some dried fruit and nuts and things like that as well, and make it healthier than a Snickers, I think. The second wine I was going to highlight, again, I find that this is super refreshing this time of year. This is our Vintner Collection Rosé. Should be served chilled, really refreshing on a warm day. I'm going to be sharing a rosé recipe towards the end of this show. So stay tuned, hang tight. But this one has fresh strawberry, crisp watermelon, and hints of zesty blood orange. blended with a touch of sweetness to add volume into the finish. This tantalizing rosé boasts a rich strawberry backbone with hints of cherry, watermelon, and citrusy aromas. It's delicate, pink rosé, adds color, pink rosé color, and it is a delightful sensory experience. So it is an off-dry wine. It does finish kind of dry. It's light in body, and it pairs well with a baked ham, strawberry salad, grilled tomatoes, and fresh herbs. Again, hang tight because we're going to talk about a frosé recipe that's really fun with this wine in just a little bit. All right, we're on to your Malbec. I know you're excited for that one. So we have it here as well. This has been one of my go-to reds lately. Complex aromas of dark cherry, bright raspberry, forest petals, and ink introduce a big mouthful of fine-grained tannins, more ink, and a bright finish. This Malbec from Argentina has a touch of rusticity amongst the elegance and structure. So this is a drier wine, medium to full-bodied, and some food pairings for this one are bacon-wrapped dates, beef empanadas. See, we were talking tacos earlier, and I know you were asking about which wines, right? Chocolate bark and steamed mussels. It's a seafood time of year, I think, right? So again, one of my favorite red wines that we have to offer right now. And I'm going to finish with our Vintner Collection Cabernet Sauvignon because I think barbecue, grilled everything, and, you know, we've had beautiful weather recently.
Yep.
So I can't wait to light up the barbecue for some burgers and some Cabernet. Again, Father's Day is coming. So think cabs for dads, you guys. And you could be supporting these incredible organizations all at the same time. This is just one of the Cabernets that we have on the website. There are other collections as well. So you can definitely check that out and, you know, build a box of cabs for dad for Father's Day. So this one has a big mouthful of dark berries and toffee with an echo of vanilla. This Cabernet is bold and beautiful with complex aromas and textures. It is an off-dry wine, medium-bodied, and some food pairings for this one are beef fillet, blue cheese, and roasted beets. I'm going to go ahead and say a bacon cheeseburger too.
That's good. That's good.
So those are the 4 wines that I kind of wanted to highlight. You can build a box and give back even more. We have a really great sale going on right now, up to 25% off when you mix and match and build a case. What's really great with One Hope is if you love red wines, you can mix and match and build your box of reds. If you like white, sparkling, rosé, whatever it is that you enjoy the most, you can curate your own pack. You do not have to go with our curated pack from our winemaker. You have that choice. So our half cases right now are on sale for 15% off, and our full cases are on sale for 25% off. I told you I was going to go back to talking about Wine Club because it is the second best thing that we offer on our website. The first thing is what I do because I get to give back to these incredible organizations all year long. But our Wine Club is free to join. You get automatic discounts on your wine purchases, all of your wine purchases. It is flexible. You get reward points, which means that you have points to purchase more wine after your initial purchase, which is really cool. I love the rewards. You can build your own box or have our head winemaker select the picks for you. You get access to the exclusive wines. And I also love mentioning that it's a great gift that kind of covers all of the holidays for your wine lovers, right? So seasonal wine club, great gift. We do have lots of gifting and special occasion bottles, minis that are really great for favors. We do custom etched bottles and crates. So anything that you have in mind for a special occasion, we can create it and customize it right on our shimmer bottles for you. Also, our pink shimmer just launched this month. I just had that thought. Hold on a second. So this one has a label on it, but we can actually customize the pink shimmers with your logos now as well. So, and this one has sparkling rosé in it. So really, really fun. All right. We're ready for this frosé recipe. Are you ready for it?
We are. We're really ready for it.
All right. So try this watermelon frosé recipe to beat the heat this summer. I'm going to walk you through the steps. So here are your ingredients. 1 bottle of One Hope Vintner Rosé, which is this one that I just shared with you. Okay. 6 cups of diced watermelon, 2 tablespoons of simple syrup, and the juice of 1 lime. So the directions for this is to take your One Hope Rosé and add it to an ice cube tray, freeze it for 6+ hours or overnight. And then next, you're going to combine your watermelon, simple syrup, and lime juice in a blender. Blend it until smooth. Pour your watermelon puree into an ice cube tray and freeze for 6+ hours. Once your rosé and your watermelon cubes are solid, you're going to add them to a blender together and blend it until smooth. Pour it into your favorite glasses and garnish with a slice of watermelon or lime wedge. It's that easy.
Wow.
Rosé. Yeah.
Yeah, that is
full-size drink, barbecue. It's as easy as that.
It also gives somebody who doesn't really drink or who's unfamiliar with wines, it kind of gives them a way that they can come in and they can try them and experiment with them a little bit. Because, a lot of times you think of wines and the only thing you think of is, well, here's a glass, let me pour it in the glass and I drink it. So
right.
It's really neat that, I never thought of wine being an ingredient until I met you. So, which was great.
Yeah, no, I love it. And frosé is delicious, I find, through the warmer season. So if anybody gives it a try, let me know how you like it or comment about it in the virtual event page. That would be great. So it's that simple. You're going to shop the fundraising link and every purchase is going to donate to the cause of your choice. So there is a link specifically for the Lucas Project and a link for Veterans Honoring Veterans. You heard from these 2 incredible organizations. Just amazing work that they're doing. Any questions that anyone has, don't hesitate to connect with me on the virtual event page. I would be happy to make recommendations, based on what you typically enjoy. So lastly, if you're passionate about these charities and you want to help them fundraise, please reach out to us. We're here to help. And we'd be happy to partner with you to help give back to them as well. So Zach, over to you. Let's wrap it up.
Well, you know what? Again, fantastic job as always. You do such a great job with this. You were most definitely born to help people with this program, and I think you do such a great job. And I am so honored that we've become partners in this to help as many people as we have had, and we're looking to make it even more. So please remember, if you run a nonprofit, this looks like it might be a good idea for you. Reach out to us, 970-909-0751. 970-909-0751. Let's get you in here. We celebrate the month with celebrating some great organizations. And once again, we do want to remind you, this is the celebration of the organizations. Yes, we are talking about wines. Yes, we would like you to buy wines, but if you have a problem, please contact these numbers or contact somebody else to help you if you have a problem. There's no need to hurt yourself while you're trying to help others. So please make sure that you take care of yourself while we're taking care of others. So I just want to say thank you again. I just want to say it, the goddess of the grape, thank you for such a great job. You've done such a great job again. I also want to thank our guests. I want to thank Jess, and I want to thank Bart for joining us. Please make sure you check out both of these organizations. Both of these organizations give of themselves to make sure that other people are taken care of. Let's help them. Let's support them. Let's do good. We will be back in a couple of weeks for the halfway show. And at that time, we will have some more fun and more recipes and stuff for you, correct?
Yeah, can't wait. I'm excited.
All right. Well, for Stephanie Simoes, I'm Zach Clayton. We are here to try to help as many people as we can. We ask you to please remember to love somebody out there, because somebody out here loves you. There's no reason why anybody has to go it alone when we all come together. Thank you very much, and we will talk to you in the next couple weeks. You will be seeing this video throughout the month until we record the next video, and then you'll see that video a couple times throughout the month. So we like to keep them updated when we can. If you have any questions, please send us an email at Zach, Z-A-K, at communitypayupforward.us, Zach at communitypayupforward.us. I can reach out to Stephanie. We can get your questions answered. But the easiest way to do it, our little guy here, go to our page, our Facebook page, join our Facebook group, and you can ask any question you want. And Stephanie is so up on that, and she can help you out. Please remember that if you enjoy helping people, you really want to have a conversation with Stephanie, because she can help you help others. So, but Stephanie, thank you. Jess and Bart, thank you. And to everybody who's watching this, thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Have a great day, and let's raise a glass to a great cause.